Okay, baby, what's up? It's 13 with Superior Mobile by 13. Today, I got Michael's 2020 Shelby F150 in the shop. Holla at your boy, this thing is flippin' beautiful. Super stoked. So Michael came to me last week and he goes, yo, I want a pillow of light underneath my truck. And I said, sir, say no more, I can deliver. And the more we talked about it, we kind of game planned how we were gonna pull it off. And let me show you what we did. So first and foremost, he wanted to push a button in order to turn on the light. Now, when I first started talking to him about his requirements, I was thinking that we'd be looking at like an addressable setup or whatever. And I'm like, what kind of lights are you looking for? And he goes, I don't know, blue, maybe white. And I was like, oh, all right, so some real basic stuff. So we have a simple stainless steel switch right down here. And when you push it, it gets a little halo. And that's a simple button because as soon as you push that, the underglow lights all come on. And since I'm using the Diode Dynamics Bluetooth controller, it has memory. So it remembers whatever the last color was on. So once those close up, you can see right now it's on a white glow. Now keep in mind, this is during the day. So I'm getting a lot of competition light from outside right now, but we still have a very decent, respectable glow coming off of this. Now these are the RGBW IP67 strips from Diode Dynamics. So they are really resilient. And so what we did on this setup was I actually mounted them inside of kind of that step board groove right there. So this install is super clean and super great because you can see I'm on the ground right now and you can literally be on the ground and you don't see the strips, but we still get a nice even puddle of light. Coming around to the front is we got a full grill lighting setup. I've got a strip up here, a strip in the middle, a strip down there, a strip right there firing down, and then also a underglow up underneath that front area that gives us, again, a really even beautiful glow all the way around. Now, one of my least favorite things though when I see on other installs is when I can see the LED strips. And I'm gonna get you right up on top and looking down and you can't see any strips. And then I'm gonna do something really silly. I'm gonna get way low and I'm gonna tell you, look at that. You still can't see any strips. So I am super stoked with the caliber of this install. That basically means that you can't see strips anywhere. So for this front strip, this is exactly what I made. You can just see it right from the side, which I'm not super in love with. But the point was I didn't want to mount a strip to this actual skid plate because then the LEDs would have been exposed. And we've got this crazy big aluminum thing, this big box essentially right in place. I think it's an oil cooler. So there was no great place to mount the strip. So what I did was I built this beam out of 1/2-inch PVC. And I chose PVC, one, because it is not going to rust or corrode. It's not going to swell. It's inert. And it is plenty strong enough in an I-beam configuration, although this is more like a T configuration, if that's even a thing, but it's still flexible and strong enough. So you can see it's got a bit of a bend as it curves around that. And it allowed me to just get a strip mounted exactly where I wanted it. And then I made these really simple little angle brackets out of aluminum and I used a factory bolt location there. Now I will say this, Shelby decides to use self-tapping screws on their body panel pieces, which totally grumps me out. So I removed the self-tapping screws, drilled that out and put nutserts in there so I can use machine hardware, which is serviceable, which if you ask me, if you're paying the price point associated with a Shelby, you should have serviceability, but that's neither here nor there. And then as you can see, every single one of my strips has the plug very shortly after it. And this is those waterproof M8 connectors. Even though these strips on the front and all of the grill locations were all custom cut by me. And then basically what I do is I cut these extensions and so I can solder directly onto the boards and I can use those waterproof connectors to maintain serviceability. So all of that installation technique does take a lot more time and effort. Now, as I stated earlier, you just push a button and it puts on whatever the last color remembered was. But now I've got it on the 7-color jump so you can see all of them in their glory and they all came out absolutely gorgeous. The glow is really intense out of these 5050 SMD chips. Now, what's gonna sound a little crazy is actually I was a little bit nervous before I started this job because it's just a basic RGBW underglow. Now, granted, I do my basic installs a little bit more complicated than most do, but it's still not an addressable install. So I had a little bit of complexity kind of quoting it out or whatever, but the installation techniques are all of the same. Tons of serviceable plugs, make sure that all your sealant is in place so that you don't have any corrosion or anything like that, and then make all the strips hidden and you get this type of quality result. Again, right now we're at daytime. There is sunlight coming in through the ceiling right now and it's still this bright. So I'm very pleased with the output on this. The only one thing I want to mention is that this is the white color, and it looks kind of blue on screen, but it is a pure white, and it looks exactly like you'd expect in person. It is a pure white. So my phone's just kind of picking it up as a slightly bluish color, slightly cool. Back to illustrate that point is that we can go in here and we can push our little button right here that turns off, and then the lights are all off. Those are the LEDs that come on with automated step bars. And then we go back around here and obviously everything is off. And then when we go back in here and we turn the system back on by pushing said button, it's going to jump right back to that 7-color jump that it was on previously. So as you can see, it is now jumping along. With this setup, you can use the app to make it do color cycles. You can pick multiple colors. You can pre-program whatever color you want, and then just use the button to turn it on and off. And so that will be wonderful for him. So that's all I got to say on this one. Pricing and product information for this particular build will be in the video description. Generally speaking, all of my installs are custom. However, that is a good price reference point if you're looking for something similar to this for yourself. All build inquiries must be submitted via the form on the website, and that website link will also be in the video description. This is 13 with Superior Mobile by 13. Thank you so much for watching. Oh man, I hope you have yourself a wonderful day. I'll talk to you later. See ya!